pretty sure I just used the wrong intro, but let's not
Does it
worry
matter?
about it. I was supposed to use. That was the one I was meant to press. It is what it is. I'll tell you what, that intro, that whole beginning 1 minute that we've just done, reminds me, Steve, a lot of the game last night. It was just an absolute balls up from start to finish,
Well,
in my opinion.
You say that. Everybody I've heard, and I haven't listened to everyone, so if I'm saying, oh, you've done, that's your opinion, and it's not, I apologise in advance. Everybody I've heard has looked at what we did, but absolutely nobody has looked at what Olympiacos did. And they went out to spoil it and make it difficult, and they did.
Well, they succeeded, didn't they?
Yeah, they made it very hard for us. And, we should be able to do this, we should be able to do that, but you've got to take some account of what the opposition were doing. And actually, 1-0 win was pretty good with the way they tried to play the game.
You add to that the referee, and
yeah, I know
we were fighting a losing battle.
That was a game that you just had to grind out. It wasn't pretty, it wasn't attractive, but we got the result, and that's good enough. And we could have had 2 or 3 if a Gerd gets a better header in, all sorts of things. So I know a lot of West Ham fans going, terrible performance, awful, Well, no, it wasn't. It was what it was to win the game.
Yeah, they did what they had to do. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I have to say, just before we came on air, Steve, and even then at the top of the show there, I've said I wasn't overly impressed with what I saw last night. We got the team we wanted. We got Kudus, Bowen, Benny, essentially what we got against Arsenal in the Cup. But it didn't feel the same.
No.
To me, in the sense that it just didn't. I'm not saying it didn't work, but again, I felt we sat too deep.
Well, we did what we always do. We tried to give up position and get them on the counter, and Olympiacos and worked that out and wouldn't let us do it. The difference with the Arsenal game is we could counter them. The Olympiacos, not so much.
And that's and that's the key, isn't it? I mean, I'll tell you what it seemed like. It really seemed like we were teeth back in. It really seemed like we were relying on James Ward-Prowse, his free kicks and his corners.
Yep, but
it really seemed like that was what we were waiting for.
But let's put it into context. Europe isn't easy. Liverpool lost. Villa only scored in the 80th minute to win their game in the conference.
Liverpool played to lose.
Liverpool lost 3-2. And
on a bit of a dodgy refereeing decision, VAR decision, apparently.
Oh, people will always find reasons, won't they? So, did we play well? Did we cut them open at will? No, we didn't. Could we find an easy way through? No, we couldn't. But that comes down to them not letting us do it. They played damn well doing what they were doing. And the fact that we
set up to do,
and the fact that we scored what is frankly a superb assist and finish, that's what you needed to break them down. You needed something exceptional, and that's what we did. I mean, Paqueta, to be fair, gave the ball away and threw himself on the floor a lot during the game.
Annoyed me so much.
People keep saying he's going to a big club, and maybe he is, but he gives the ball away, even in usual, he gives the ball away and puts us in trouble. There are weaknesses in his game. Kudus was not his flying best.
I felt he was non-effective after his booking, Steve.
Yeah. And then Alvarez.
I think but then Alvarez wins the ball, Steve, and I think that's just a good old-fashioned challenge to me.
Oh, he wasn't. That was never a booking.
I don't even think it's a free kick, mate, to be honest with you.
No.
I think it's embarrassing on the ref's part there, and the fact that VAR didn't look at it, it's even worse.
Oh, yeah, but the ref was. I think I'm being generous when I say the ref was poor last night.
Yeah, I mean that is for me that's an understatement. I think there were several throws that should go one way but went the other.
Corners and
Yeah,
yeah,
well, I think possibly the worst referee we've had in Europe in the last 3 years.
possibly. But the standard of officiating doesn't seem to be very high to me in general, neither in the Premiership or in Europe.
Yeah, this year's been quite poor.
Yeah. So my take on the game is we played a very stubborn side that, that set out to spoil what we were doing, had worked out what we would try to do, and very effectively stopped us doing it. So to win 1-0, was it pretty? No, it was very attritional, but we got the result. I'll take it.
Yeah, I mean, be all and end all, and when you consider the game as it was, we come away with a 1-0 win. We top the group, I think, as it stands.
We do.
We have a more difficult game in a couple of weeks' time when we play Freiburg. A victory there guarantees us a way through. You know, I think we're through now.
We've
But
got
it
some
depends on
form
whether,
of we've got some form of European football, whether that's the conference or the Europa League.
yeah,
Yeah.
Or even the playoff game for finishing second. So essentially, evening B and evening to you as well, usual. We're going into yesterday's game. I think I said on the review, the preview on Wednesday night that 2 wins goes a long way to alleviating the feeling of discomfort, disharmony. Cheers, Logan. The lack of joy
Yeah.
of watching the game. We've got, and it's part one done. It's
Yeah.
part one done. We've won yesterday. We've come away with the 3 points, if you will. We've come away with another European victory against a relatively smart side, Steve. I mean, I'm not going to say they were
They
well
much
beaters, but
better
they were a smart side and they set up tactically correct, I suppose.
Yeah, they were a lot better than I expected them to be. I've got to be honest.
I thought they were our middle of the road. I think I said it previously that Freiburg away was our hardest tie. Bacca Topola was our easiest tie. Yeah, the home leg.
Yeah.
And then these 2 against Olympiacos were going to be kind of the middling of the road.
Yeah.
Whereas it actually turns out that they seem to be the hardest team we've faced so far. And we've played both games against them now.
Yeah, difference is Freiburg actually tried to play football against us. So there was some space there. Olympiacos didn't really until they went 1 down.
I mean, I watched it here in the pub with a couple of other West Ham fans, and we were all 3 of us in agreement that it wasn't our best performance. It's a long way from being our worst. It's a clean sheet in Europe, which is, unless you're one of the big boys, doesn't necessarily tend to happen. So we can come away and be a bit joyful, I suppose, that
absolutely
it's a win. It wasn't pretty, like you say. They did manage to stop us from playing. Let's talk about Gerd's headers. You mentioned them earlier.
Yeah.
Other than the third one, which I feel he has to do better.
Yeah.
I think the other 2 are bloody good headers, Steve. The first one, I think he gets on target. The keeper pushes it wide. The second one's kind of an easy take for the keeper. Third one, he nods it about 27 yards wide, but it's easier to hit the target.
Yeah, the first 2.
That's more. I think that's more to do with Ward-Prowse's delivery than it actually is players positioning in the box. Because I think if it's not a Gerd, it's someone else, isn't it?
Yeah, I'd agree. Third one, I think he should have scored. He didn't, obviously. But first two were decent headers. And again, another night, that third one goes in and we win 2-0.
Yeah.
Oh, we get the point where Olympiacos are pressing us and we can get them on the break as they try and get the second goal, their equalising goal. Benny had a couple of good efforts in the first half as well.
Yeah,
one of
I was
those
going to bring
goes
them
in.
up. The first one he pulls actually a really good save out the keeper.
Yeah.
Keeper's at full stretch. I actually do think it's, I don't want to call it a Hollywood save, but I think he makes it a lot more spectacular than
Yeah.
it actually was. I think it's a relatively straightforward save. It still looked good, and it's still a great shot from Benny from distance. Edge of the box and bending it top corner, and then obviously the second one low down to the goalkeeper's right, and he gets down well to it and palms the ball wide. You take those three into consideration, you could have been 5 up at half time.
Yeah, it could have been. And I thought we went in at 0-0. I thought we were a bit unlucky to go in at 0-0. But that's where it was. Another day you're going in 2 up. Very fine margins.
Start of the second half, they come out though, Steve, and it felt like they were flatter than any second half I've seen them play so far this season.
Yeah.
They looked awful.
First 10, 15 minutes, I don't know what happens at half time. I've seen it so often.
Yeah.
We come out, we've been on top in the first half, we come out in the second half,
Yeah.
and it's sort of, oh yeah, and they look like rabbits into headlights.
Yeah, it looks like they've run like a 7-mile jog in the 15 minutes of half time before they come back out. They look like they've been on a massive workout.
Yeah, I think the only thing I can think is Moyes is going on about them. Do not concede in the opening 10 minutes. Keep it tight. And actually, they're trying so hard to do that. They're not playing their natural game.
They're not functioning at a higher level. Because they're focusing and concentrating.
Yeah. Whereas if a different manager would say, right, you got the upper hand, you really go at them for these first 10 minutes, you can get them on the back foot. Very different. So I do think it's partly the psychology Moyes, or partly what Moyes wants straight after half time that causes the problem.
Well, you know what? Let's fast forward to the goal, because you mentioned earlier Paquetá throwing himself around, petulant, childish. I mean, I was very surprised. I mean, the referee didn't even really talk to him over the course of the game, considering how he was behaving. I think it was Ward-Prowse, Steve, wasn't it, with a delivery?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
Perfect, on the money. Great timing of a run by Paquetá. Great delivery. I'm not quite sure who it is that stepped. I think it's Bowen steps out of the way because Bowen moves and allows Paquetá that over the shoulder David Platt against Belgium Italian 90-esque style finish. Keeper no chance.
No, brilliant goal. Brilliant assist, brilliant finish.
Evening, Alec.
Yeah. Evening, Alec. Absolutely superb. That was the one high quality bit of play from either side that broke the deadlock, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Like you say, it was the only quality piece of football in the entire game. There was a couple of bits for me where Kudus picked up the ball, couple of little jinky runs, dodging players, and they were trying to bring him down. They were trying to haul him down. There was a couple of occasions where I felt we defended. I mean, the one with Mavropanos, I think he overruns the ball, loses out, and I'm not sure if Souček comes in to make the challenge. And thankfully the fellow was offside, and that's what the referee gave. But there
Yeah.
was a tackle in there that I was like, oh, that
Yeah,
could,
I know the one you're
what are
talking
you
about.
doing now? Like, you please don't. Mavropanos gives the ball away, but we could have quite easily lost Souček in that moment with a sending off. It was an uncomfortable moment, Steve.
It was, yes, I remember it well. And you're sitting there thinking, oh, good grief. Is this going to be a very West Ham moment when we manage not only to get a player sent off, but we also concede our lead?
Yeah,
But it wasn't, and it went our way for a change. And I'll take it.
take a breath and start again, wasn't it?
It was. You see, I've sat there and I've thought about the match today. Was it pretty? Was it entertaining? No, but it was all about the result for me.
Yeah, and you know what? That is all that counts. And we go into an international break after Sunday,
No.
and we sit top of the league in our group. The hardest game out of the two that are left is next. We play Freiburg at
Yeah.
home. I won't say it's an easy fixture, but with us at home, you would expect that to be our game.
Well, we've beaten them away. We should beat them at home, shouldn't we?
It's West Ham, Steve.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm trying to look at it logically rather than through a West Ham lens.
And then we go into Sunday, which obviously we're going to be doing a review for tomorrow, or the preview, sorry, for tomorrow. And again, another victory really does put us in a positive light going into the
Yeah, it should take us into the top 10, shouldn't it? A victory.
going into the international break. Look like we're qualifying for the knockout stages of the Europa League. It looks like we're moving up the table, if you will. Being what should be 10th, 11th from where we are now. You'd like to think we're capable now of trying to string a set of results together.
Well, you'd like to think so, but again, I thought we went into the last international break. We were in a really good place, and look what's happened.
Well, we always come back sloppy from the international break. The fact that this is the third one since the start of the season. The season's only 12 games old now.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
It's painful. It really is painful, and it's embarrassing. I just want to quickly come off topic before we wrap it up, because again, I'm very aware that it was a very no-show kind of game, other than the goal that we've spoken about.
Oh, it was incredibly boring. Let's be
So,
honest.
I want to ask you a question, Steve.
Yeah.
The costings of badges that the managers need to have. So you are aware that to be able to manage a football team, you have to have certain levels of badges, yeah?
Yeah.
So my younger brother has just completed his B license. So congratulations to my younger brother, Danny.
Congratulations,
He's
Danny.
just completed his B license, and now he actually put in our family chat, I'm going to either have to start a GoFundMe or an OnlyFans to be able to afford his A license, right?
Well, how much is it?
So in Germany, Steve, how much do you reckon an A license to pay for, take your course and everything else for an A license? What do you think it is in Germany?
Well, I wouldn't have thought it'd be any more than 1,500 quid.
Right, in Germany, it's 530 euros.
Right, okay, yeah, that's reasonable.
In Spain, how much do you think it is in Spain?
Well, I would think it's comparable to Germany. Let's say a maximum of 750 euros then.
1,200 euros in Spain to take your A license.
Okay, yeah.
How much in Ireland, Steve? If you were to take your A license in Ireland, how much do you reckon it would cost?
Probably a bit more expensive, 1,500 quid.
2,350 euros.
Okay.
How much in the UK, in England, Steve?
$5,000, I would have thought.
4,390.
Yeah,
what
ridiculous amount of money.
Fucking shambles is that?
Oh, so
a difference of 3,000, roughly 3,860 £.
it's ridiculous. How can they expect it top quality people when they make them pay through the nose?
And also to do your pro license,
Yeah,
and bearing in mind this was back in 2013, so this might be very different now.
yeah.
It probably more expensive with the cost of inflation, etc. To do your pro license in Ireland, €7,550. To
Yeah.
do your pro license in England, it's actually 45 quid more at 7,595.
Well, don't see how they can justify it, really.
It's ridiculous, Steve. I mean, my brother, like I say, he's done his B license now. He's already spent a fortune
Yeah.
on going through the gears with regards to his licenses. He's already spent a fortune. I know he's been supported by his work as well. As I say, he's a coach with APD, so I know he's been supported in what he's been doing by those guys. That's just extortionate, And then you've got the likes of Will Still, who was going, well, no, I can't afford to pay that to do a fucking license. I'm just, and fair play to Stab Rene for allowing it to carry on for as long as they did before he had to take it. They paid for it, but it's just extortionate, Steve, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it doesn't. But isn't that the English game? Make as much money as you can, off anybody you can.
I just don't feel that you're going to get top quality coaches. I was given I was given the opportunity during the second lockdown, the winter lockdown, so 2019 into 2020.
Yeah.
I was given I was sent a link by my brother, in fact, to do an online course, which took me about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And I now have an accreditation in level 1, the FA level 1 in talent identification.
Well, there you go.
And I did that for free because they wanted people doing it during lockdown. And I got that on March 31st, 2020. And I've completed the FA level 1 in talent identification.
Yeah.
Now, if you can do that for free, just because you want people doing it and you gave them something to do during lockdown, surely as the FA, with the amount of money that they would get, they can subsidise the costs of some of these for especially for the top talent. I'm not saying my brother's a top talent, but for top talent, there should be some sort of subsidisation to help bring the next coaches through.
Well, you'd think so, but it's all very short term, isn't it? The whole thing at the moment is short term. Who shall we show most on the TV? Well, the guys that get us the biggest revenue.
Yeah.
It's all short termism. How can we fill our pockets? And long term planning is very important, because if you keep going short term all the time, something changes, you got no backup.
Yeah.
So no, I think it's a ridiculous amount of money.
And like I say, the fact that there's no help with, like I say, subsidisation of these courses to help, especially younger. I mean, my brother's 31 years old. To help even people that are younger than him. I mean, he's still quite young to be a B licensed manager. He's still young at 31 years old.
What level does that allow him to coach to, out of curiosity?
I believe, I'll tell you what, while we're here, B licence. I can't spell, Steve. B license. There you go. Football level. That allows you to. It doesn't actually tell me. What a load of shit.
It'd be useful to find out from your brother.
It replaced level 3 in coaching football. And there you go. This cost him 960 quid to take his UEFA B license.
Yeah.
So to do his A license, he's going to cost him £4,000. That's a fucking jump, Steve.
That's ridiculous. How long did it take him? How long did it take him to do his B license?
B license is between 9 and 12 months.
Okay. So say 18 months for his A license. There, you can't justify a fourfold increase.
Well, you're there you go. Look, to register now, £3,645 to do your A license now, and that would give you they give you 12 months to do that. And about the course, the UEFA A license is the highest practical coaching award available and builds on the technical and tactical content covered in the UEFA B, creating better developers of individual players within units and for 11v11 football by improving your understanding of modern trends, strategies and tactics, systems of play in today's game, and the England DNA principles. I mean, I just don't.
Well, it strikes me as being crazy, but
That's for me. That's a lot of money.
that's a lot of money for anyone.
So, what you'll be able to do on completion of this course is holding this qualification can lead to roles within the professional game. So, there you go. Senior 21 plus or youth development. But if you have aspirations of coaching senior teams in the top flight, so that allows the A will allow them to get into championship football.
Yeah.
Whereas to be able to coach senior teams at top flight in any country and or at international level, you then need to go on to complete your pro license, which is a mandatory qualification for first team managers in the Premier League.
Well, there you go.
So we'd need to do his A license, which is £4,000.
And then spend another 7 on his pro.
Nope. Even worse, Steve.
Yeah,
so £9,890 to do the pro license course.
I don't see how they can say that's worth it.
He's going to be, if he wants to go that far, he's going to have to. He's looking now at stumping up just shy of $15,000.
That's crazy. Your average man, well, who can afford that? I couldn't.
That's to give you an idea. Before I came to my post here to do where I'm at now, that's just under half my yearly salary with Green King.
Yeah. Well,
to complete both of those. That's for me. That's insanity.
Well, another way of looking at it is 300 quid a week.
Which, on top of your everyday bill, Steve.
Yeah, nobody can afford that
in a cost of living crisis.
No.
He's going to have to sacrifice a hell of a lot to want to even do the next level at $4,000. You know, that's a hell of a lot of money.
Well, it's 80 quid a week, isn't it, roughly?
Yeah. You know, I'll support him and I might just give him money for Christmas that he can put aside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It won't make a very big dent, but well, I'll tell you what. Here we go then. For anyone watching, there's 4 people. For those of you watching, we're going to set up a GoFundMe page for the next West Ham manager, but he needs to raise $15,000 to be able to get there. Now, all jokes aside, I mean, I think I personally think that's fucking ridiculous. It's a
Yeah.
stupid amount of money, especially if you want to encourage managers into the top flight. I mean, listen, regardless of color, skin color, you know, they
Yeah,
talk.
yeah, yeah.
We read regularly about the fact that there's not enough people of color in top flight management jobs, etc. Well, no disrespect, no one can afford to pay 15 grand to do their next two licenses. He's well, the one he's just done was what, £1,000, we said.
Yeah.
So that was £1,000. So already we're looking at 15 and a half, 1,600 quid just for free licenses. Plus he's got to do the ones that come before that. So you could be looking at 17, 18 grand to get your courses.
You've
And
got to
that's
be
over
really
the,
committed, and you're not
yeah,
guaranteed a job at the end.
and but that's over the course then, Steve, of X amount of years. I mean, the pro is 18 months.
Yeah.
So your pro license is at 18 months. Your A license is 12 months. So that's what's that? That's 30 months. So that's 2.5 years
Yeah.
already there. Your B license is up to
9 months.
9 to 12 months.
Yeah.
That's all you're looking at, 3.5 years there. You got your C license, which is 5 months.
Right.
So you're looking at the best part of 17 grand and 5 years, 6 years. If you can afford to just drop 17 grand on the table and spend 4 years doing nothing but football.
Well, I tell you what, James will get his master's degree in 5 years.
And that's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's it. Like it just doesn't make sense to me. We're complaining that we don't have great up and coming managers, but when you're charging them 17 grand to be able to come through, there you go, even your introduction to coaching football, Steve.
Yeah.
Introduction to coaching football is a 4-week course and costs you £100.
Yeah.
Like, come on, please. It's ridiculous. For me, it's absolutely embarrassing.
But a lot of the people who do it are pros getting ready for the next step, and that's a drop in the ocean for them.
Well, it is in this day and age, mate, when they already earn 400 times that in a week.
Yeah, I know. It's a different world. But for people like your brother, that's a lot. Well, it's a lot of money for anyone, isn't it?
Well, my brother is at home tomorrow in a game, I believe, against Danson Sport. The game last week was called off due to a waterlogged pitch.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping we get a game tomorrow. Like I say, I believe they're playing Danson Sport in the 24 the NRG 24-hour Jim Kent County Football on West. I can't even see where they are anymore.
But yeah, good luck to him anyway.
Well, to be honest with you, they're actually flying at the minute. I can't find their league. It's annoyed me now. It was there last week. It's all changed. You know, they're in a situation where I don't know. That's the season stopped apparently. What a load of shit. Oh no, that's 2021. That's why I'm looking in the wrong. My God, Steve, help me out. We are.
It's all going horribly wrong, isn't it?
They are fifth in the league. They're fifth in the league. They've got a game in hand over the top three. If they win, they go on to 18 points. They will go third in the league. They've got 4 games in hand over the teams below them. So they're doing all right.
Well.
Like I say, the team they're playing is they're playing. Oh, where is it? Why does this do this to me, Steve? Falconwood. No, Anson Sports away tomorrow. Sorry.
Right.
So we'll be going to that one. That's at Bexley Heath, so that ain't a problem. Hopefully they'll win that and move themselves up the league. So anyway, listen, they're Danson Sport are bottom of the league. They've lost all 10 and conceded. Oh my God, they've conceded 53 goals in 10 games.
Oh, okay. Well, they're consistent. It's 5 goals a game, isn't it?
I mean, they lost 12. Well, they lost 12-0 last week.
It doesn't help, does it?
So, yeah, that's not pretty.
Anyway, we're back tomorrow, aren't we, for the Forest preview?
We are. We've got the Forest preview. That's a 6:30 start. Hopefully, Andy will be able to join us. I'm glad you got home in time to bail me out of having to do a video on my own.
No, I had a very pleasant drink with my ex-boss, who's a lovely bloke.
We know our videos of me on my own go. They end up on certain websites that we don't know. I'm joking. No, thank you for joining me, Steve. Those that have watched this waffle for 36 minutes, thank you for joining us as well.
Thank you very much.
As Steve says, we are live tomorrow for the Forest preview. Then on Monday, we are live at 7:15 on this channel for the review of the Forest game. And then right after that, 15 minutes later, 8 o'clock, we are live on the Extra Time channel to do the headquarters show, which is us talking about anything and everything West Ham. Join us for those. Jump on both channels, hit the bell icon, hit the subscribe and the bell icon to be notified when we are going live. It will send you notifications through to your phone. Hit like on this video if you've enjoyed it. If you haven't, hit like anyway. We don't care. And we shall see you all tomorrow, 6:30 sharply. Steve, thank you very much for joining me, my man.
Thank you. And thank you to everybody in the chat who's put up with us waffling on for nearly 40 minutes.
Take it easy, my man. I'll see you soon.
See you soon. Take care, mate.